Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I am your host Ray Goots, and hey man, it is the week after SummerSlam, but in 1999, it's time for a Super Brawl. But before we get into all that, Kyle, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I thought SummerSlam was better than WrestleMania. I still don't think it was that good, so it's a low bar, but it was definitely a better show. But I will say what surprised me, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, is that even though Super Bowl IX is not that good of a show, Flair and Hogan had a better match than Seth and Roman, I think. Um,
I mean, I don't know about that, but I'm curious to hear the takes afterwards or when we get to it.
yeah, but I mean, I just kind of my thing is I'm just kind of sick of the overproduction of WWE. I know I and the lionization of the Shield and well, before I get into my thoughts, overall, what do you think of SummerSlam?
I thought it was a good show. I didn't think it was like crazy. Night one, I missed the last half of night one. I celebrate a friend's birthday, so I kind of had it on my phone, so it wasn't as locked in. For Punk, Cody, Bellas, and Oba Brock. But I was really impressed with even Liv and Io because I didn't expect that to open the show. I didn't expect that to actually. I thought it was gonna be fine, but they really like got the crowd going. I like the surprises with Kevin Owens coming out, even though that was spoiled by our wonderful Sheets, who love doing that. It seems more for WWE than AEW surprises. They love doing that. So that happened, but it was cool to see Kevin Owens. I liked the main event. Penta Chad Gable was good. Overall everything was good. Not everything was like I must see this again, but I enjoyed myself.
I mean, we will eventually see it again when we get to it on this
We'll be
journey.
doing this podcast till the end of time.
um, my thing about that main event is that, and maybe you're gonna say I'm crazy, but I don't think anything's out of the realm of possibility now that Vince is gone because a lot of the old rules. Because I feel like a lot of the TKO brass, their answer would be, well, why not? But my thing, and I didn't post this online because I do think I would get dragged, is that there was a lot of mention of Mox, a lot of
Yes.
mention of Mox. And I thought to myself, if Roman and Seth are in the ring and the Death Riders were to attack them, it would be like an all-time moment in wrestling history. Even though I don't like the
Yes.
Death Riders, but it would be like this old, like you guys can like I don't know. I feel that maybe there was an email sent for some type of crossover to AEW. Maybe the email was sent back, "Oh fuck yourself" by Tony Khan. Maybe the email was ignored, but my feeling is you wouldn't mention it this much unless you had something that you were confident in going down. Because there was a lot about Mox in that match. And I watched with my niece and her fiance. They don't read the dirt sheets, and her fiance was convinced that Dean Ambrose was going to come out, even though I said like he has a contract, he would be
Yeah,
super.
it's not possible.
But at the same time, I don't think it's that insane to think that in the next 5 years we're going to see a crossover.
I think it really depends on a lot of different factors. If I think whatever's going on with rights, network rights are gonna get take a big play into it. Because if there's a world where one of these major streamers or one of these streamers and their partners has WWE and AEW, they're definitely gonna want some synergy between the two. I think that's gonna be a big. I think that's really gonna be what it's about. That money, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I always thought like a Brody Lee Invitational or a Bray Wyatt Invitational would be a good way to just kind of have all the people who knew and loved them from WWE, TNA, AEW, Indies, coming like what they do with like the Brian Pillman tournament and things like that. I think that would have been a nice way to do it. Like a non-canon show. I think fans can even handle it. I don't think fans can handle a
Fans
non-canon
will
show
handle it.
now.
If Roman Reigns walked out the Dynamite tonight and was like, Mox, I'm challenging you at All In, but I'm still working for WWE. And then Tony Khan and Nick Khan put out a joint press release. We're doing Twitter. Everyone would melt down. Dave Bixby would have 15 heart attacks. He'd be in the hospital. A lot of
He
people would
might, someone might die. Yeah, someone might actually die.
it would be a fist fight. People would drive to each other's house to fight each other because they would not believe that they're going to do Roman versus Mox at All In, and WWE is approving of this. Like
Yeah.
they they just couldn't handle it. But after everyone gets over it, I definitely think in this what if scenario, it would be best for business.
No, yeah, I think it would be cool. I think it would be. I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
Yeah,
Like I said, I think money would talk. The maybe the mock stuff was just more for Roman and Seth. They also mentioned like Sasha Banks with like Charlotte Flair when she like
I know, but they
came to the
third
ring.
spots. They put like clearly they put like a third thing that's supposed to be him. I don't know. It was just like
Yeah, yeah,
this is a little bit too much. And for fans like my niece's fiance, who he's not gonna listen to any nonsense. He's just not gonna do it. Just not
no,
gonna. He is convinced because of everything he's seeing on TV that Moxley is eventually gonna show up. So
yeah. I mean, AEW would have to screw up colossally
yeah,
for John Moxley to leave because he seems to love that place and seems to be the backbone of that place. Like. Warner Brothers will have to step in and do the TKO thing and be like, we're not paying you this much money anymore for John Moxley to leave and go back to WWE. But they did set it up as like, hey, he could come out anytime. And this is the second time they did that. Did that with the
yeah,
Shield music, and people were just like, at least Corey Graves played it as like, wait a minute. And even when I'm watching the for a split, I'm like, no, that didn't happen. You know, they did enough to trick you to make you think that even for like a brief moment that you might be
yeah.
able to see him.
I just feel like it's not as far fetched as a lot of people think it is, and I don't think
I,
it's that far. I don't think they're that
I
far.
think it's more, yeah, I think it's more in WWE than AEW because I remember when Triple H and Tony Khan, when Triple H took over, Tony Khan was excited about an idea of maybe working with them. I think he was asking a press conference like what happened. He was like, I thought the realm of possibility would be open, and I found out like very quickly like that wasn't happening.
Yeah,
And I think they don't like him. My in this business, they were like, fuck this guy. And that's what happened.
yeah. But I also think that like that's Triple H more so. That's a Hunter. I mean Hunter. I'm sorry, Triple H, Vincent Kennedy, McMahon. I think it's all those people that are old school. I think the Nick Khans of the world and even the Codys and even like the Seths. I think Seth wants a job in management. Are gonna be like, fuck it. Well, like why can't we do this? Like doesn't make it like
Yeah.
why not to do this? You know?
No, you can make a lot of money together if you do, like, and do it correctly. I know there's a lot of, we're not there yet, but this year is the 25th anniversary of the invasion, and as will be talked about till the end of time as well, because people talk about how mismanaged it was. Some people liked it, some people couldn't stand it. Some of it was WWE's fault, some of it wasn't WWE's fault. But I think again. Where these places collide. My mic is not my friend today. Where these worlds collide, but time will tell. You don't like okay. Shit.
Okay.
No, no, like my cord is falling out while I'm trying to talk to you. And I'm just like, cool. Like I'm not expecting like Kevin Knight versus Penta. While that would be a good match. I don't know. Sasha Bailey. I don't know. I think it would be cool. I think if everyone could work together, make money together, make fans happy, that would be awesome. But egos would have to be put aside, and that doesn't seem like that's happening anytime in the near future. But
Yeah.
it would be
Well,
nice.
certain older people's egos, but
Yeah.
somebody had a thought that they're going to give Undertaker everything, and they're
No,
going
I
to.
don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I've been saying this for years. I'm going to say this until I still think that they're just waiting for a reason to get rid of. I would just get rid of everyone with the McMahon name. I really would if I was Nick Khan. I would just overhaul it. I mean,
He likes them.
I wouldn't like. I think it's better if they're just all gone, like gone, 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 gone. Um, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. That's what I would do, and I would have done it years ago. I would have already had Brian go as the head of creative instead of Triple H. Like I just would have done it.
I mean, the
I
next
mean,
5 years are going to be telling too,
the
because you
only
got,
the only thing I could surmise is that they had proof, and everyone, no, this is not true. They had proof that Janelle Grant lied, which is why like they didn't back down. Like they had some proof that she was exaggerating or full of shit, which is, but I don't know about that. That's the only reason I can see because if she had a lot of smoking guns, I don't know why this guy stuck around, but whatever.
yeah. I mean, it just fell apart. I don't know. Maybe she ran. I don't know what happens there. Maybe she ran out of money. Maybe it was always about money. I don't know. I don't want to speculate that, but the case is done to my knowledge, or it's on the verge of being done. So all these people are safe. Brock Lesnar is retired, so they don't really care anymore about that. They can idolize him as a legend. And any other name like Triple H, Nick Khan, if they were in this case, then they're fine because the case is over, unless more cases drop. But I was saying the next 5 years are gonna be really telling, depending on the Netflix ratings and the everything that they do, because WWE stock could drop. It could be a lot less interesting in 5 years. Netflix might not want it. I mean, someone said it was Meltzer who said Unreal is not doing as well this season than last couple seasons. So
Because you can kind of tell it's all bullshit. And
yeah.
I watch them make, like I said, like when I saw that clip of them wiping down the whole fucking board because Seth got injured, it's just like it's not the. First of all, it's also embarrassing to make it seem like it's that hard when the shows are this bad. Like like you're acting like they're acting like they do. I guarantee if you see a behind the scenes thing of everyone working on Supergirl or Brand New Day, they're not even making it look like Chinese arithmetic. Like they're like, all right, that was a good day of shooting. All right, see you tomorrow, Zendaya. Like they're not acting like that. They act like they're making fucking Amadeus in 1984, and it's just been the worst run of shows in history. It's like that little era where Seth was the champ after he fooled CM Punk was not a good era of TV. Unless
Mhm.
if AJ Styles didn't, AJ Styles, if AJ Lee didn't return, nobody would have gave a shit about anything on that show during that era. So it's like,
Yeah.
what great vision did you have that Seth Rollins getting injured? It's like it's ridiculous. It's stupid. Come on, you and everything in WWE, including SummerSlam, feels like they're just making it up the day of. So if you show me everyone like struggling, I have no. I'll say this: at least Kevin Nash, Eric Bischoff just kind of admit that half the time they put no thought into this.
They'll do that 20 years from now when they make their own when they make their non WWE podcasts. 'Cause they have several podcasts now on WWE radio. Um, so who knows? I mean this week's Raw is a step in the right direction, people are saying. I mean, if you care
Like,
about LA Knight seems to be the next guy in line for Roman Reigns after whatever luchador he faces on in Mexico City.
by the way, that I am excited for. That is the way to get me
Yeah.
excited for Raw. I'm very excited for this tournament, and I think that is going to be one of the best Raws. That's going to be the best Raw of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I assume it's Penta who's gonna win it, right? Or
Panther El Grande Americano, either one.
yeah, one of those two.
The fact that Roman's wrestling on a Raw, I just think it's going to be really great. So that I'm
Mm.
excited. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what I'm not excited for. I'll tell you what I'm not excited for, and everyone here has to just admit why is Cass not returning with Enzo? I'll just say this: Cass is a waste of time without Enzo. Enzo is
Jeez.
a waste of time without Cass. These guys together are megastars. Separate, they're losers. There is a path to get Cass into the main event, but it involves Enzo being with him. All right, he cannot do it without Enzo. He had it's just not going to happen for this guy, and he comes out and it's like, dude, why'd you even rehire him? It's over without Enzo. I'm sorry, it just is. He needs it. We've been wasting 9 years of this fucking guy's life. He could have already been in the main events if he had Enzo with him the entire time. I don't get it. What do you think?
I mean, he had a couple personal issues that happened that kind of derailed his momentum too. Both of them,
Well,
personal and litigation for
mhm.
Enzo. But Although I think it was proven they drew the lawsuit out. So take that,
Proven like 1,000% false. Yes.
yeah, take that how you will. But I think unless Enzo's not signed, I think someone said that I skimmed through NXT that Robert Stone was like he was on the phone a free agent, which some people were assuming is an Enzo or maybe like the former Jakara Jackson, Mara Sade, I think her name is. You know her
Yes.
in TNA? Yeah. Um, so I assume it's one of those two, unless there's a really big free agent out there that I'm not thinking about. But people were saying that Enzo may start on NXT, Kaz on Raw, and then I guess you kind of bring them together somehow. I don't know why you would do that. I think in Big Cass's case, or maybe Enzo's just getting a test because they don't trust him. So they're testing him out in NXT again. But I think in Big Cass's case, he's the third big man to come back in like the span of 2 years. And besides, at least Baron Corbin right now, he's got to win. But they did it with Rusev, and where's Rusev now? They're doing it with Baron Corbin. People aren't really excited to see him. I mean, he's a good wrestler, but people aren't excited to see him. And now they're doing the same thing with Big Cass. Where does he go in the next 6 months? Does he beat Chad Gable? Does he just fight people? And he's not gonna fight for the world title because Roman Reigns is the champion. He fights Seth Rollins. Do you want to see Big Cass versus Seth Rollins? Like, what do
He
you
does
do?
not get fired. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, what's gonna happen? It's just why deny reality and why deny faith? Faith. Why deny it? It's it's like fucking man. It's like March of '98. Just breaking up big Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. It's like no, these guys are garbage without one another. Like, come on.
And I mean, they need a tag division, especially on Raw.
Yeah.
Austin Theory and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker looks ready to throw out the tag title on his own. That they have him like obsessed with Obafemi right now. But I think it would have probably been a big pop if Austin Theory was in the ring and then Enzo and Kaz come out and do their whole thing. Everyone would have loved it. But if Enzo is going to NXT, I think they're testing the waters to see if he has matured and is worth going back to the main roster someday.
Well,
That's what I
right.
think. I don't know.
It's going to be too late. It's already too late. It's already too late. It's just you just roll the dice. Roll the dice because let me tell you that fucking summer of 2016 that I went to the Raw after SummerSlam where Bailey debuted.
Yeah.
Everyone had Enzo and Big Cash shirts. It was all over the place. It was all over the place. Like everyone was
No,
wearing.
they
They
were
were the
very popular.
and their personal issues didn't start until after McMahon broke them up a year later. And it's just come on, man. Like, come on, just put them together. Like, what planet are we on that we're not doing this?
I'm seeing if there's any. Oh no, there's no real news on Enzo Amore. So who knows? We'll see.
Who knows? And that would be one thing if Enzo was like, I'm not coming back, and then it's like, all right, well. But at the same time, I just wanted to brought in. If my plan is to bring in Big Cass and Enzo goes, I don't want to come back. I'm just gonna be like, hey, you know what, Big Cass, maybe TNA wants you, or MLW. I just don't see value in this guy. I'm sorry.
You know they love a big guy.
There's
They
a,
love a big guy.
I don't know. Tell Sammy Callahan to come over. I don't know. We haven't
He's
tried
not
him
that
yet.
big of a guy.
He's a fat guy. Um, I just don't see. I hate to say this, but Big Cass, Big Bill, whatever. He showed me nothing. He showed me nothing in AEW. He showed me nothing and TNA. He's just has shown me nothing. And it's like
Wasn't he a good deal in TNA?
he got a couple of big pushes, but he didn't do anything impressive. When I remember, like
Hmm.
he was in storylines, but like he just basically looks like a blank slate unless you have Enzo fucking hyping him up. Maybe they don't like each other. I don't know.
Maybe. I know they've had a couple reunions, but maybe, yeah, maybe they don't like each other.
Well, just get
So
over it. The only way
someone
you guys
said
are ever gonna fuck with
Roman
Mega.
Reigns versus Pimpy
Oh, that'd be
in
great. Just
Mexico City.
get over it, guys. Get over it, or get other jobs, work in other industries. I'm just that's just how brutal. Either you, this is what I would say if I was in charge of WB. Either you guys are together, or you guys should go get jobs like real jobs. That's it. This is the only way this is gonna work if you guys are together. If you
That's
guys are
crazy.
together, we can get Big Cass to the fucking promised land, but we're not going to do it unless you guys are together. It's just, it's been proven you've done nothing in your life since you guys broke up. Your lives have been horrible because Vince
I
McMahon,
mean,
God, by breaking the two of you up,
Enzo seems to have a pretty good life. Have you seen his girlfriend's vlogs?
girlfriend, but he could have
Yeah, he's
been,
got.
he could have been like, he could have been Cass's like Paul Heyman, like at WrestleMania when Cass, like he could have been standing there while Cass like there's a reality where Big Cass defeats Roman for the belt, and Enzo's like on the side doing the dance. How you doing? And like
Yeah,
he's
no, there is.
the bloodline is like, and Enzo's like doing his little dance, punching Jey Uso. Like there's a reality where that's the WrestleMania main event.
Who's
So
the good guy there?
what?
Who's getting cheered there? The
Oh, Big
bloodline or Enzo and Cass?
Enzo, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. All
I mean,
right.
the rope doesn't matter if the bloodline can do the most heelest things and they are faces in the eyes of.
Long like Big Cass is beating Roman in like 2021 or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. This is like a different reality where they never broke up.
Yes.
Because
There
they
you
never
go.
broke up, they have their personal issues. They would have got over it. So,
Well, with time will tell if we see them
well, time's up. So it's over.
together. Yes.
So it's over. So just move on. All right. Speaking of moving on, we got Super Bowl nine. Overall, what did you think of this show?
I mean, I think it's been better than the WCW shows we've been watching recently. The last couple ones have been a little rough. So this one wasn't as bad, but still has his WCW isms in it. You can't you can't leave that alone. That's always gonna be there.
The bad stuff on this show I felt was really bad. In particular, what they do with Rey Mysterio. It's extremely
Yes.
excited. Now we're here in 20. It's like, bro, like you are just like lighting money on fire with how you're treating this guy. Um, I will say that I really think that the proper way to continue, because the NWO now is almost going out of the way to not just like be but they're being very disrespectful. So, for example, last month they beat the shit out of David Flair. Now they have David Flair with the NWO beating the shit out of his dad. They stole Rey Mysterio's mask. They unmasked him and basically ruined his career for 2 years. Uh,
Hmm.
Scott Steiner is openly threatening to molest ADP's wife. Like they're going to another level, and my everything in me watching this show is telling me that what should have happened next. Did you ever see the angle where the Horsemen's formed, where they basically just locked Dusty Rhodes in a cage and they just beat him down for like 20 minutes?
Yeah. That's what someone needs to
Everything
do, the NWO.
is telling what they should have done was Flair is like done. Lock the fucking doors, lock the arena doors. We're gonna viciously beat the shit out of the NWO. I'm talking DDP, Rey Mysterio, Conan, everyone basically to the point where the fans like you can't you guys gotta stop beating up the NWO. Please. Like you can't do this Scott Hall. Scott Hall's begging for mercy and they're not letting him because it's like no okay, now you've gone too far we're not doing this shit anymore. Like Goldberg is like spearing Scott Steiner through glass. I'm talking like just this brutal. The cool thing about '80s like Southern heels is that like they had like this thing where it's like they were regular guys, but if you piss them off, like all right, now I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like this fucking like this evilness inside of them, this evil southernness that they unlocked back in the '80s, and I think they needed to. That was the next logical step. Was Flair's like okay, you know what? We're going back to 85. We're going to take a hammer to Hogan's hand, like just go all out. What do you think? That's how I feel like this should have ended. What do you think about that?
I think none of those guys would have agreed to it. Nobody in the NWO would even remotely want to look that weak. Maybe Buff Bagwell. But if they were really willing to play ball, that would be definitely an interesting turn, and people would have tuned in to Nitro, that's for sure. If you call your friend and be, hey, Hulk Hogan is getting beaten with a hammer by Ric Flair and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio? You're switching over and you're watching. And then afterwards you could have, I guess, the NWO gone for a little while and some of the more goody good guys like Ray or even DDP, they're wrestling with like they go too far as human beings. And
Yeah.
maybe Ric Flair kind of returns back to that like horseman flair. with the Benoit and Malenko and all those guys. So you could have had some fun with it if everyone would have again played ball. But obviously,
I,
that's just not how it went.
I would almost be like, it's no longer four. I now have a horseman army, and he recruits like Bam Bam, and he recruits like Wrath, and he recruits like Jericho, and it's like, this is just this doesn't mean it's just four members. It means like now
Yeah.
army, and I'm gonna run WCW with this army, and yeah, it's just like, and if they start booing Flair, Flair's like, they threatened to assault this man's wife. They got Goldberg arrested for rape. They fucking ruined Rey Mysterio. Now can't go back to Mexico because he had to unmask in disgrace. They've constantly ruined our lives, and you're gonna boo me? You're gonna boo me? And he's like, "Well, then screw you." And then like someone like Benoit, for example, comes out like, "I think you went too far," and "Oh, we went too far." And then Wrath, and like it's just like this whole like almost like, you guys don't understand what it was like in the 80s. And now I'm going to bring it back to the 80s. You've tried to fire me because I wanted to see my son's wrestling tournament. You've been fucking with me. That's done. We're done with that. Woo! We're done.
Got to throw the woo in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
It's
even
like
like,
it's like Skeeter from Doug. He's got a honk. He's got to do the honk honk.
yeah.
But
And then, I don't know. That's kind of where I feel like it's leading to. And it does it because like they keep, I watch the show and like they're really being disrespectful. Like they're almost like, it's like logic would dictate that this is going to backfire on them, and it never does. It just kind of fades out. You know what I'm saying? Like they're being more
no.
successful this show, the NWO, than before. You know?
No, it kind of feels like what's going on in the world of politics in 2026. But no, yeah, I think it's they had a lot of cooks in the kitchen that don't wanna ever look bad. The NWO, as we know, Hall, Nash, Hogan, these guys rarely looked bad, rarely looked weak. If they did look weak, it was for a week, and then they were back on top again. So it's just kind of the same cycle over and over and over again. I didn't think I would get tired of the Wolfpack theme, but this show, you hear that theme like 10 times. I'm like, oh my God, okay. Someone get a
So,
deal. At least the mid-carders in the NWO had a different theme song from the main people. This was just all Wolfpack.
oh man, yeah, it's really, it's well,
It's a good song, but I'm like, oh my God.
yeah, it's really like it's almost like they're leaning too much in the NWO, and it's like, okay, you've got to have a twist in this, and the twist is basically they just fade it. They just give up the NWO without much of a fight in 2 months.
Yes.
By
And then
May, April, May, it's just not even a thing, which is crazy. Just and they don't even explain it. Like the NWO B team is still around. I think the end of the NWO B team is Stevie Ray and Booker T beat them up, but then that's it. Like that's like the official end of the. There was like a random Nitro where Stevie Ray's cornered by the B team, and Booker T comes out, and the Harlem Heat's reunited, and the B team just dies. That's the end of the NWO.
then they come back under Bret Hart and Jeff Jarrett and
NWO 2000, yes.
yeah.
And the ultimate ending of the NWO is basically when Russo and Bischoff come back and change up everything. But we'll get to that.
And then
What
there's WWE NWO.
what do you think of the first thing you see? So the first thing you see on this pay-per-view is Tori Wilson in bed. And she got tickets to Superbrawl and she needs to get an outfit. She's talking to the camera. And it's a very weird, they've been doing so, just so you know some background, there have been videos like this all throughout the Nitros, which is a mysterious person is hanging out with this mysterious woman, right? And we're seeing
Hmm.
the perspective of the whoever it is talking to this woman. Very different from anything ever done in wrestling before since. What do you think of this intro with Tori Wilson?
I mean, it got my attention. I'll tell you that.
Well,
Um, how could it not? And especially I think if you're not to leave the women out of it, but if you're a teenage male, teenage to adult male from 18 to 45, maybe even older, your show's starting off like that. You might have to do some explaining that you didn't order porn by accident on your pay-per-view. But no, it definitely grabbed the attention. I don't know where they found Tori Wilson. They found her in like fitness competition, right?
They just yeah, they just pulled someone saw her and was like, I'm in love and gave her a job.
Okay, just like, here you go. You don't have any wrestling experience? Nope. Just get on camera and talk. For someone with no wrestling experience, she did a good job, and definitely got me intrigued. She doesn't come back to. I knew it was happening on the Nitros, but it was cool to see on the Super Bowl. It's definitely like, okay, what's gonna happen next?
So I
Mm.
think what Nash was trying to go for this was he wanted like actual like TV scenes on Nitro. So what I mean by that is you would be watching Nitro to be a match, and then the next segment would be like a dramatic scene. Like I'm just for example, Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner having lunch, going over their issues, and it's filmed like a real TV scene, like it's like a real TV show, and then we cut back to the matches. Here's the problem with that: is that for this to work, you have to believe that David Flair is holding a camera. But like David Flair is not only hanging out with his phone, but he's holding a camera, right? And then he's also letting Nitro. He's putting this on Nitro because the announcers are like, "Well, we've seen this woman." Da, da, da. It's like it's a weird like I don't think those two worlds match: live sports presentation and these dramatic scenes where like Scott Steiner is like talking to his therapist about whatever his feud is. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
mean, they do it all the time now.
but what I mean by that is like but also these segments would be like the characters talking so like there's a segment in a future Nitro where Hogan and Tori Wilson are laughing about David Flair. And
Hmm.
then there's mention but it's supposed to be like in a regular TV show, Tony Soprano is like, "Oh, fuck my wife. She's a bitch," right? The wife doesn't have the wife can't see that. But on
No.
Nitro, Flair can see that, but he has to pretend he didn't see that.
Yeah, no, that's like wrestling. It's funny when AEW, I think AEW was the first person to be like, "Hey, didn't you watch the show?" Yeah, like MJF like made fun of Chris Jericho or something, and then Jericho was like, "No, you can't be in the inner circle. I watched what you said like last week because whatever he did was on TV, and they acknowledge that it's also a TV show, which they don't acknowledge at least back in the 90s. Because then everyone would be smart. Anytime McMahon would have a plan for Austin, maybe that's how it always backfired. Austin had a little mini TV. He's watching the show, and that's why he knew. But yeah, it's just one of those things in wrestling that just like doesn't make sense, but like you kind of allow it to make sense. I don't know. It's weird because I you're making 100% sense. You're not supposed to know. Like if you saw that in a different show, like you said, Sopranos or like a How I Met Your Mother or something, like scene B should not know what scene A is happening. Then otherwise you have no show. But in wrestling, they just kind of play fast and loose with that rule.
Yeah, and they kind of dropped this around Spring Stampede, but there was like 2 months we were doing weird shit like this.
And now
Um,
people do it all the time, so maybe they were onto something.
maybe.
Remember TNA? You could hear Jeff Hardy's thoughts, although they couldn't. The wrestlers couldn't, but he would walk by and he was like, James Storm's not gonna be champion. He drinks too much. Like you like
Weird. Yeah,
you got into his conscience like while he was in the middle of a promo, while he was in the middle of another promo. It was interesting stuff.
yeah, yeah. All right, the first match we get, speaking of not interesting, is Disco Inferno versus Booker T. Disco Inferno's in the Wolf Pack. So the Wolf
It
Pack was supposed to
sure
be
is.
WCW guys. Somehow he gets in the NWO and he gets on the upper echelon. He's not even in the B team. He's on the A team. But it's Disco Inferno versus Booker T. Booker T still way over. This is more of a showcase for Booker T than it is a back and forth match. However, man, everything Cody Rhodes said about Disco Inferno was correct. Guy stinks. The guy was always a loser. But it's fine for. But again, this just kind of shows you like where the NWO angle is going. Like really, Disco Inferno is in the Wolfpack. I mean, he's also in the Wolfpack in the Mayhem game. So again, you're right. This is the era.
It's
So
the
what'd you
mayhem
think?
roster. I mean, good showing for Booker T. Booker T, like you said, just always over, always popular. People did not like Disco Inferno, so I guess he was over. They were booing him and shit, booing him pretty loudly. But just more of a showing for Booker T than it is for Disco Inferno. I don't think anybody was taking Disco Inferno seriously. People liked Booker T. People like to see Booker T get his momentum. So again, good showing for Booker T. I could have done without Disco. I can always do without Disco Inferno. Disco Stew, different story.
Let's go. So
I did
not
like when he was with Alex Wright. That was a team that I liked.
well. I'd rather just see Alex Wright than Disco. So
Well, yes, could do that too.
up next, Jericho versus Perry Saturn. Jericho has Ralphus in a dress. I guess Scott Dickinson is now his personal referee. Perry Saturn is now wearing a dress. Um, Saturn's keeping the dress on. The 30 days were up, and he still insisted on wearing the dress. Um, Saturn beats everybody else, walks off. Jericho wins by count out. Uh, the thing about this match, what I like, we know what I always like about wrestling is that whenever a character is forced to wear a dress, they start liking it. Wrestling is like oddly like pro trans sometimes. Um,
Sometimes.
sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. I get this. I mean, whenever I watch this Saturn, I just feel like Jericho's counting down the days. It's good, but it's not like the greatest. What do you think?
Yeah, no, you know Jericho. Like now that you know, Jericho's counting down the days. Like he's not gonna be here for much longer. Saturn, very popular also. Like they really popped for those Death Valley drivers and just everything that Saturn was doing. So he's another one that you're just like, why was he not in a more? Why is he just in a dress when he could be the United States champion instead of Scott fucking Hall, Roddy Piper? But they didn't want to push Saturn. They just wanted him in the dress. And I mean, they had that Revolution group, but no, the match was just okay. Like you said, I think Jericho was already checked out. He already knew where his next match was gonna go. I mean, his next company was gonna be, so he just kind of buying out the time. Uh, Not putting people over. I mean, I guess I don't know. It was fine. It was just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Up next, we got Chavo Guerrero versus Billy Kidman. This was a good match. Chavo's kind of back being a real wrestler as opposed to being a goofball. It just wasn't very interesting. It's a great showcase for Billy Kidman. But again, this is the thing. Chavo is not Juventud. He's not Ray. He's not Eddie. He's Chavo. And the match is fine, but I think like we always assume Chavo's a great worker because he is always in the group of great workers, but he's actually the least. And this match certainly shows that. But it's still a very good match. One of the best matches on the show, even though it's not very interesting. What did you think?
I think he's a pretty good worker. I think yeah, he just doesn't have the charisma as the others, the personality as the others to get you invested. And in a match like that, where they were a team for like a week, and then they had the feud, you're not very invested in what's going on because there's no real story there. And neither one is like gone like full heel. Like Chavo hasn't gone heel, Gibbon hasn't gone heel. They're just kind of mad at each other. And these are two faces that like don't have it charisma wise for you to watch a face match and care enough. So good match. Not much story there, but good match.
Yeah, it's a good match. It's just it's Chavo, man. You know, it's just Chavo.
It's Chavo, man.
Up next,
Exactly.
oh, this thing. I remember feeling this way back in '99. You know, sometimes things are different when you look back. You're like, this fucking match, I feel like it's still going on. It's Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham versus Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko.
It's still going on.
All four of these guys are great workers on their own, but together, I don't know. Ooh, this is this is brutal. I mean, Barry Windham, I love Barry Windham. I love '80s Barry Windham, maybe even early '90s Barry Windham. 1999, nobody wanted to see this guy in a long match like this. I mean, this is a long. There's a chant of boring. Now, Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko, they were the winners of the loser bracket of the tournament, so they have to win twice, whereas Kurt Hennig and Bray Windham only have to win once. This
Yeah.
match on and on, and it's so apparent halfway through. Like, yeah, Kurt Hennig is cooked, bro. It's just he's not who he was. He's cooked. This is I don't know what this is. And it keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And then like Barry Windham chokes Steve Malenko and pins him. Um I mean, there's more offensive matches on this show in terms of what they do with the booking, but this is certainly I think this is the worst match of the show. Really fucking boring. What do you think?
I think you can give it that harsh of a grade because you know what these four can do. So when you see these four together and it does not only does it fall below expectations, it doesn't end, you're disappointed and you're extra disappointed. Like a Disco Inferno, Scott Hall, Roddy Piper, you're not expecting magic, not in 1998. Uh, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, it's really hard for them to have a bad match with almost anybody. Kurt Hennig, I guess still holding on to the Mr. Perfect days, and Barry Windham should not like it should not have been as bad as it is with the four of them, and it just was. It just was not an interesting match, not an interesting thing for people to see. Then it ends with shenanigans after all of that anyway, so it's kind of felt like a waste of time. I have a friend who I guess he quote tweeted a tweet today about like who was the most overrated legend, and he meant he I was surprised to see it. Kurt Hennig and Rick Rude is who he mentioned. And I was like, how could you say that? It's just what I was thinking when I saw it. But I guess Kurt Hennig's WCW career has really put a big check minus, a big asterisk on his AWA and WWE career to some people because, like you said, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, I think Kurt Hennig in the '80s and the early '90s is definitely a goat. He's in the goat conversation. But
Hmm.
I mean, once he comes back after '96, it's just like he's just not what he was. It's almost like he forgot how to work, and
Yeah.
he never really gets back. And I've never seen someone with that drop off. I've never seen someone with that drop off. I mean, Hogan's about to have a really good match on this show. And I don't think Henning, I'm going to say this, I don't think Henning has, since he's come back in '97 in WCW, I don't think he's had a match as good as Hogan and Flair have at the end of this show. I mean, what is
Hmm.
that?
No, it's not good. It's not good at all.
That's not good. And he's supposed to be a guy who's supposed to run circles around Hulk Hogan, and not tonight. All right, up next, one of the most short-sighted, stupid fucking things I've ever seen in my life. I thought this way in '99, and now that we're here on the other side of 26 years and the amount of money WWE has made off this fucking kid, this match has to be the equivalent of lighting money on fire. And I'm talking about Outsiders versus Rey Mysterio and Conan, Elizabeth's hair versus Rey Mysterio's mask. Um, I, I fucking hate. Let me tell you something. I have a fondness for Scott Hall. I fucking hate them after this match. I hated both these fucking guys after this match because they made Rey Mysterio look like shit in the match. They made Conan look like shit. They took his mask. This is a moment now. If Rey Mysterio unmasked on WWE, they'd probably make it like the main event of SummerSlam WrestleMania. Like it would be this big dramatic moment. It would be like the like Michael Cole would be having a heart attack. This guy's taking his mask off, and the way they do it here, it's just like you don't know what you have, man. You don't know what you have. Like this is a guy who could have carried this company to today. Like right now, he could still be the champ. Like you know what I'm saying? Almost 30 years later, this fucking guy could be running around as a fucking champ. And instead, you you ruined him. I Kyle, I thought his career was over after this. I thought it was like this guy who had like 2 good years and now would be it. And the only reason he survived was WWF basically was like, nope, we're going to ignore that. We're going to ignore Mexican tradition. You're going to put the mask back on. We're going to pretend none of this happened. And it fucking worked. If it was like one of the only times where you just steamrolled over like what happened and it worked because the guy now is like one of the greatest legends of all time. But the way that just the way that they like make fun of him during the match, the even like the way he loses, like I thought for certain he's going to kick out. He just loses like an idiot. They just bury him. And when he's getting offense, the crowd is into it. The crowd wants him to win. They like him. They like Conan. And man, did they just fucking go out of their way to just like every dollar this guy could have drew in this company is just thrown out the window in this fucking match. And for what? What did you think? I hated this fucking match. But I still liked it more than the Benoit match because at least it was interesting, like how badly they were like just ruining this guy's career. What did you think, man?
And the stakes were definitely raised, so I guess you could like that more than the Benoit match. But it's a very baffling decision, and I think they've talked about it since. I don't know what they've said, but I know they've talked about it. How probably in hindsight, now in hindsight, is a really really bad idea. I know Mysterio didn't want to do it. I know he wanted to, like they were gonna fire him if he didn't do it. Um, you did get some fun out of the filthy end. There are a lot of people who do like filthy animals, Ray. But I think Rey Mysterio is Rey Mysterio, and there's a reason that this guy to this day is still one of the top stars, not in just WWE, but in wrestling and all of pro wrestling. He has that legendary mask that just relates to everyone. It's synonymous with him. You know, you can put him on the street, or and someone hits that mask, they're gonna be, oh shit, Rey Mysterio. So to try and take that or not capitalize on that with in your company, I don't know. I don't know what the point was. I think they wanted to make him like a giant killer without the mask. I know he beats Kevin Nash eventually, but then that doesn't really go anywhere. What
Yeah,
happened?
he loses like a bitch eventually, and they just move on. So it's
Yeah. And then he becomes like a little like filthy animal, no limit soldier. Dude's wearing little devil horns.
no,
Um, what happened?
no, no, keep going,
Yeah.
keep going.
No, it was just a mistake. It was a mistake. And I'm very glad that he was able to not have that happen again, or at least the WWE was like, I heard like he had to go to like the Mexico, like council in Mexico of like Lucha League or something like that. That sounds fake, but but it's very very real in Mexico, and had to be like, hey, can I put my mask back on? And they were probably just like, yeah, this shit was stupid. Sure, I don't care. It's like the Arm and Tim's area. You know the Simpsons where they have a second Principal Skinner?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like that. They're just like, nope.
never speaking this
Stricken
again.
from yeah, stricken from the record. You are the person. You can put your mask back on. It was like that. I know they've spoken about it. I just don't remember what like Bischoff or Nash or them have said.
It's not
You
a good idea, by the way.
he does a good idea.
He still thinks it's a good idea. He thought that Ray was more marketable without the mask, and it's like, well, you don't do anything to market him after the. He literally becomes a jobber barely on the show after the after
Yeah.
that.
At least sell the little devil horns.
Your Mysterio never gets the time on pay per view that he got in '96 after the mask is taken off. Just never happens, and we're about to see that. It just never happens again. So, how is he more marketable?
He's just a tag team guy after a while.
Yeah. Um, and here's the thing that annoys about Hall and Nash. This is the thing that really gets me, and I don't think even Hogan needs to understand this. The reason why that pay per view works so well and the heel turn and everything, it's not just because of Hall, Nash, and Hogan. I think the reason why that show is so memorable and why is because of Rey Mysterio's psychosis in an opening match. Those two guys have one of the greatest opening matches in pay-per-view history, and it sets the tone. And what the tone it sets is, hey man, maybe Hogan and Sting are gonna have shitty main events, but you know what? You're gonna see some fucking great action, and then you'll probably see some crazy storyline developments at the end with the Hulkster now that he's turned evil. And I think Ray did a lot to get people to watch all of WCW, not just tune in for the NWO. And I think that what they do to this show is all the goodwill he built, they piss it down the drain. They piss it down the drain.
Mhm.
Rey Mysterio is the secret ingredient of why Bash at the Beach 96 works so well. Because it's not just a bunch of shitty WCW matches and then Hogan turns heel with the best promo of his life. It is a state of the art. This is what's going to eventually, this was the message you feel in WCW. Hogan's going to turn heel, but eventually these guys are going to rise up, and then the main events are going to be this good. And they just fucking go out of their way to fuck this guy over, out of their way.
Yeah, no, it's not a it could have been a real changing of the guard if you're starting with, like you said, Ray versus Psychosis and ending with the NWO heel turn. Could have been a real change of the guard and attitude era, I guess, if you will, for WCW, even though WCW came first. But just different complicated booking decisions and again with the too many cooks in the kitchen just ruined all of that. We talked about last year. Their 1998 roster was better than the WWE's. an untouchable roster, and with the right ingredients, you could have had the shows that we have. I guess now, I mean, I was some kind of combination of WWE, AEW, ROH-ish kind of things. Well, anywhere the matches are good, the stories are good, and the main events deliver. You could have had that, and clearly they didn't, and clearly they are out of business. But they had the ingredients. They had the ingredients right there with so many talented people: Ray, Psychosis, Hoovy, Eddie, Kidman, Raven, Jericho, Benoit, Malenko, like just so many. It's almost reminiscent of like the TNA like 2007, 2008 roster, like whatever, like 2006 to 2009, like untouchable TNA roster before Hogan comes in.
And then you have guys that don't even think about being good workers that were having good matches, which was Wrath and Ming
Yeah, yeah.
and fucking we're seeing them have great matches. So it's like you have an embarrassment of riches. Like,
It really, it really boils down to booking and creative. With the wrong people in charge, just like a job. If you have shitty management, you're gonna have shitty work, and
yeah,
they prove it. But I'm happy that Rey Mysterio was able to. Apparently, this Lucha Council thing might not be real. Which, God, nothing I like in pro wrestling is real. It may or may not be. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows the truth. Maybe someone on the council can tell us. But it's just a weird, bad decision with no
mhm.
real payoff. Uh, but you got some devil horn raised overall. It's so bad that the new WWE game they have the devil horn. They have the Rey Mysterio in the overalls, but they don't take off the mask.
People get annoyed by that. After watching this match, I agree. They should never like if you think that they should have merged with Unmasked Rey Mysterio, go back and rewatch this match. Go back because I almost feel like if WCW stayed in business and he didn't go to WWE 2002, he would be like a Lash LaRue type. I feel like the best thing that ever happened to this guy was they went out of business, and then Vince and JR and that whole crew basically just erased history and brought him back to his '96 persona. I'll tell you
Yeah,
another.
like
I'll tell you another person who saved this guy's career was Kurt Angle. I mean, that match in SummerSlam 2002, that was his first pay per view match. Um,
a
and
short match too.
they and it's okay. This guy's back. Like this guy's fucking back, and it's just it's appalling. This match is appalling, but it's interesting. It's so appalling that it's much more interesting than a lot of the other matches on the show. It's appalling.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I mean Jim Ross was probably the smartest thing they did was tell him to take some time that he was gonna get re-signed, stay patient,
Yeah,
heal up, and then they were gonna re-sign him when the time they were gonna sign him when the time was right. And they did. If they brought him in during the invasion, unmasked, teaming with Kidman, he would have been gone in like 6 months.
yeah. Be Sean O'Hara. It's like
Yeah, he would have been Sean O'Hare.
live, but But he would have been like okay, Mark Jindrak's a better because he's still wrestling.
Yes, yes, Mark Jindrak is still surprisingly still wrestling.
Even like a Mark Jindrak, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, yeah, which would have been a shame. Sorry,
Hmm,
Mark Jindrak.
sorry. Up next, probably worse than any Mark Jindrak match we'll ever see. It's Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner versus DDP. DDP's streak of great matches is over. And say the wall because this fucking thing stunk. Scott Steiner and him, I don't. They have like zero chemistry in the ring. Scott Steiner's gonna have better matches after this. This ain't it though. It's boring. It's long. He passes out in the Steiner recliner. He gets carted out. I don't know, man. This was a rough one. What did you think?
When do they have the real fight? Because they have a real fight backstage. Is that 99 or like
It,
2000?
it gets around this time.
Yeah. Because they're definitely, I don't know what's going on with this storyline, but what's not clicking with these two.
Also,
I feel
in in December of '99, DDP and Buff Bagwell have a real fight. So that's another real fight that happens.
DDP just fighting everybody.
I know, yeah.
But I think it sucked for DDP because especially after the past 2 days, the past couple of years of us watching him, when he's getting carted out, there are people audibly chanting that DDP sucks, and they're just like, "You suck, DDP sucks," and you're like, "What? What happened?" He was like the people's champ, as they called it. and now they're cheering Scott Steiner and they're booing DDP out of the building. Like what? Maybe that's why he turned him in a couple months. But
Yeah. I
yeah,
will admit if you were back then because I wasn't watching with the hindsight that I have now. I kind of thought he was like an old guy that should be off TV. Like I was like kind of over him.
yeah,
Uh, so I will admit that I kind of had now that I look back and I'm older and I can see what he accomplished and how good because I watch month by month. We watched month by. I've been watching this fucking guy now since 1991,
yes.
and now I'm a massive fan, and it's so impressive of how much he's improved. Um, but back then I was like, get him off my TV. So back then I was like,
So yeah, maybe you and the crowd felt the same way, and that's why he got booed out the building. But no, this didn't really work, and we're gonna see a big shift for DDP in 1999, which also doesn't work in my opinion. But you got to do something.
yeah, well, yeah, we'll get to that in due time. Up next, Roddy Piper versus Scott Hall. They show clips of Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper on Nitro, and Will Sasso gets involved because that's what WrestleMania 8 was missing. And WCW had the great had almost should be a DVD of just this of doing rematches of great WWF matches and them
In
just being
WCW.
it in WCW. Hogan Savage multiple times. Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. Bret Hart, Roddy Piper. I mean, Bret Hart and Roddy Piper. That should be also Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper. That should be a pay-per-view match. I mean, people still talk about WrestleMania 8 to this day, and these guys are like waddling through a match on Nitro for Will Sasso. And this is like, bro, oh, this is like Roman versus Seth and it's a this is probably gonna happen. And Tony and Dan Soder or Tony Hinchcliffe get involved in the end, like on Raw
I mean, one day when Kill Tony presents Raw,
happen.
they're in
Um,
they're in town this weekend.
who
Kill Tony.
who needs? Oh, yeah, they're in your town, but
Yeah, yes. Not great for my show, but we'll figure that out.
well, we will. So Piper has aged tremendously since the last time he had like a real match on pay per view was Spring Stampede '98. He has aged tremendously. This is very sad. He also kind of he when he loses, he doesn't want to hand over the belt, and I feel like Hall and Nash like, what is this guy doing? Uh, it's rough, and Hall is not in a situation where he can carry this guy. I actually do feel like at this point Piper was uncarryable. Um, and this is a good show though for Hogan to be like, y'all thought these guys are better workers than me, but look what's happening on this night. Really bad. Not just bad, but sad. What did you think of this?
Nah, I'm just gonna agree with you. I don't have any. It's not a good match, not even in a little bit. I don't even know why it's on here. Was Bret Hart hurt? Like, what's going on with Bret at this time?
Um, I don't know. He was going through a weird thing, and then right when he gets back on track, the Owen shit happens. So,
Yeah, okay, well, um, it's Scott Hall's second match too. So I mean, I don't know. Could add somebody else in there, but. So not only is Scott Hall responsible for Rey Mysterio losing his mask, Scott Hall is responsible for Roddy Piper now no longer being the United States champion. It just sucks. I think it just sucks, especially for two people who are like good. You know they're good. May not be as good anymore, especially Piper, but if you heard like a Roddy Piper Razor Ramon even 4 or 5 years ago, you'd be like, oh, sick. And you get it here, and you're like, "Oh my God, this is horrendous." So maybe WWE should have put out that DVD. Just like, better than it.
yeah.
I don't know what they would have called it, but
I mean, not enough people talk about how bad Bret Hart. I mean, we've talked about it, but like, there's this like,
you've talked about it. I don't disparage the Hitman, but yes,
you watch some of those fucking. It's just he really is just falling apart as a worker. He should be embarrassed. Or I'm embarrassed.
I feel like a lot of people are falling apart here in WCW.
Well, because probably all on drugs. That's the other thing.
Allegedly.
Oof. All right. up next, and man, the fall continues for this guy, for both guys.
Which one? Yeah, I was to say which one.
Goldberg versus Bam Bam Bigelow. First of all, and I almost thought did the WWE when they uploaded this network fuck with the audio? Goldberg's pop has gone way down, way down. Did you notice that when he walked out?
No, it's no, I didn't actually.
Really? I thought it
No.
was. He still got a pop, but it's not what it was. You know?
Yeah.
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 And so it's Goldberg versus Bam Bam Bigelow, and this just goes on forever, ever, ever, and it's just not good. And it's like both guys forgot how to work, and it's so bad and boring. And it's like, what are we doing? This is the
Yeah.
month in a row where you put Goldberg in a situation where he's just losing aura by the second. And Goldberg wins with the spear. What did you think? I was like, what the fuck is this?
I thought it would be a little better. I know Goldberg may not be the greatest wrestler in the world, but I thought it would have been better. I thought Bam Bam, especially the year that he had in ECW, at least being able to work with Taz and have like some good moments that they would have maybe had like a better brawl or a better like just slot like I don't know, two guys beating the shit out of each other, especially with all the hype that they've been giving this match and this feud, and it just didn't deliver. I don't know if Bam Bam was already checked out or Goldberg just was not experienced enough, but no, it just didn't click.
Yeah, right? It was terrible.
Yeah, yeah. After all that build too.
Yeah, it was really rough. Now we get to the main event, and I thought this way back then, and I think this way now. Um, this was the best match on the show.
There you go.
Hollywood Hogan versus Nature Boy Ric Flair. I think both these guys have something to prove. Number one, Ric Flair has not been put in a high profile situation in over a year since his match with Bret Hart. Now he's with Hogan, and Hogan hadn't had a good match, and I don't know how long. It's just been celebrity bullshit and that fucking Warrior match. So these
Oof.
guys can go for it. This is the this is the weird thing. Hogan is no longer wrestling like NWO Hogan. He's wrestling like 80s Hogan. And but the crowd starts getting into it, which kind of like defeats the purpose of what's going on here. There's a point where Flair chops Hogan and he stops selling and he just looks at Flair and the crowd goes fucking ape shit. And I'm like, see, that to me is like people say Hogan's not a good worker. Hogan could just get the crowd and the people with a look. He just gave Flair a look. And the crowd is like, oh my God, what's about to happen? Because it looks like he's about to hulk up, which he hasn't done in like 3 years. Um,
Mm.
Flair starts bleeding. These guys go back and forth. It's this is definitely like they're making a point, I think, to everybody that they're not washed up, that they're not yesterday's news. I know a lot of people were like, "What are they doing?" when they announced this
Hmm.
event in 1999. But I thought it was pretty good. And then the finish happens, which is David Flair turning on Ric Flair, which kills the crowd. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see David Flair. Um, and yeah, it's kind of like just ruins the match. But up until that point, I'm like, yeah, these guys are like, hey, there's a reason. There's a reason why we're 1A and 1B. You all think it's because we got over pushed, or you all think it's because like we fucking did this, that, and the third. This is the reason why we're 1A, 1B to this day. So I was surprised how good it was. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, a Hogan match is rarely going to be my favorite, but these are two people who know psychology. What do you think they know all the moves in the world, or not? They know psychology like the back of their hand. So Hogan doing a look like that and getting the crowd into maybe even testing the waters if people want to see a babyface Hulkamania again, which I we'll find out in a couple months. People kind of do want to see the red and yellow again. But so I think that was just a nice little test of the waters for both of them. I was surprised to see Hogan bleed. I was surprised to see Flair bleed too, but more Hogan than Flair. I didn't think it was a bloody match. The Tori Wilson involvement was interesting. It was just kind of bringing her out.
Start like basically like just lusting over her live on air.
Yeah, he just kind of loses focus. He's like, ah, shit, which a good weakness. And her slapping him and stuff. David Flair reveal. I don't know, man. I think David Flair has always just kind of got, when your dad gives you a job at a place you just don't want to work at. That's kind of how I felt about Flair for his entire tenure. He's at a job that he's getting it's a good job, but he doesn't want to be in that business. And he's in that business and he's in this really high profile spot and he's just A, not ready, B, shouldn't be there, but there's no one else. Like Reed and Charlotte are not ready, obviously. And they tried with him, but it just didn't work out with him. He just was not as into it as the other Flairs were. But the match is not terrible. I mean, if you're gonna watch, I guess one match on here, see Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan still show you that they know how to work, whether you like them or not. They still know how to work, and they still know how to get a crowd going and get a crowd invested. So you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, I really thought that I was misremembering with rose-colored glasses because the way this all plays out eventually is just bullshit. But I
Always.
I was pleasantly surprised. I like this more than Seth versus Roman. I was like really like I think there's things that modern wrestling can learn from like matches like this. There's a lot of things that 80s Ric Flair did or early 90s that no one does anymore that they can learn from, and people would
Mm.
be like this nowadays. But I really did enjoy it. So I mean I got to give credit when credit is due. There's a lot of bullshit on this show, but if you want to see two guys basically being like, hey, we can turn it on when we feel like it. It's check out this match. I think it's kind of been forgotten
Yeah.
about.
I think they do try and do some homages. I know El Grande Americano and original El Grande Americano. I'm like, what do I call him now? Chad Gable. They kind of were more of an old school feud, and people are really all about that one. I guess the WWE and AEW is can learn from that and be a little bit more old school with their feuds. They do have their old school moments, but I'm trying to think what feud is an old school feud right now because WWE's feuds are now restarting. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay
Well, I mean,
seems
like
more
this
like a new school feud, but
ring that nobody does anymore. I remember when I watched those matches. My main thing with Flair's matches is he's not trying to do a fight forever. He's basically like
no, no, it's fight for 12 minutes.
no. Well, Flair's style is if I could pin you in 10 seconds, I'm going to do it. I want to go that quick.
Yeah,
And now wrestlers don't really do that. Flair goes in like I need to end this match right away. I don't even need to hit my finish. I just need to end the match. And
yeah.
a lot of people wrestle like that anymore. So
No, no. I mean, no. Fight forever is a thing. You saw it in this match. I mean, the Roman match. You had the stomps. Everyone's kicking out 2.99. That's just kind of how modern pro wrestling is right now, especially for a big main event. You're gonna see it 100 times when Kenny and Will Ospreay fight each other. They're gonna be kicking out everything. But sometimes a simple 1, 2, 3, simple. My finisher is better than your finisher. Slower old school pace. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's an absolute drag. But if you have two people who know what they're doing, it's gonna work.
as long as the people that know what they're doing. All right, cool. So overall, I say there's definitely some interesting things on this show that, from a historical perspective, I think everyone who has ever been critical of Rey Mysterio's booking in WWF should watch this match. If you've ever, I forgive Vince for everything in terms of Rey Mysterio.
I don't know about that, but
This, but I definitely think there's some. But overall, I would say it's not that great of a show. It's more frustrating than like interesting. What do you think?
yeah, you don't have to really go out your way to see it. Like I said, if you really want to see like a old school a Flair Hogan match and see if it's your own opinion on a Flair Hogan match because they have many different matches and many different opinions about it. Check that one out if you want to see what happened to Rey Mysterio or somehow you have never seen Rey Mysterio's face and you want to see his face when he was younger. You can check that out, but then everything else is just kind of there.
Yeah, it's and and ultimately it ruined my life the entire time.
Hmm.
No, okay. So let's review. because we've got more to come. Let's review the next 4 weeks. Next week, it's uncensored 99. It's Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair in a steel cage, barbed wire, first blood match. This is where things start changing for the NWO. In 2 weeks, it's Living Dangerously 99, Sabu versus Taz. In 3 weeks, it's WrestleMania 15, Austin versus Rock. And then in 4 weeks, it's Spring Stampede 99, Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair versus DDP versus Sting with Macho Man as the special guest referee. What are
Some
you
kind
excited
of
for?
video game ass main event is the last one. But I guess that let's go with Spring Stampede. What a
That's like the
crazy main event.
new show. That's like the last, like, they legit have great matches on that show. So.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
And after that, the ship sails. I'm looking forward to two WCW shows actually. WrestleMania
Mm,
15, I don't think is good. Except for the main event. The main event is phenomenal, but it's kind
but
of a
a
rough.
bad back too, Shawn Michaels.
I'm sorry,
But a bad back.
Shawn Michaels.
WrestleMania 14. Oh, 15. Sorry. They said 14. 15 is a crazy show. Yeah. I don't remember much good from it.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Except for
yeah.
Austin Rock. Yeah. Okay. We're on the same page.
He's there, but he just like cuts a promo at 15.
Yeah.
But
No. No.
it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be. I like the year '99. It's a very people. Oh, the in-ring sticks. I don't know. There's some. I still enjoy the '99, and I like the vibe. Sometimes it's just what year I like the vibes of 2021. Sometimes I just like the vibes of a year.
No, I get that. I definitely get that. I mean,
90.
92 is when I first started watching wrestling. So I love the vibes of 92.
Yeah,
Even though people were like, I don't, didn't like A, B, and C. I love so much about it. So,
like I didn't really like I graduating high school and going to college. Like it was kind of like a weird time for me. I don't think I was like ready to go to college. And I like even the worst WCW shows, like they were like comforting and just a way to shut my mind off back then.
yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what wrestling does. That's why people hate when other stuff gets forced into it. Last
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
you would need is Hulk Hogan come out and remind you about the SATs. He'd be like, ah, come on, I'm trying to get away from this.
Brother, you got to study, dude. So
This is Nitro. What is he doing?
no, dude, you got to study, bro. I'm sorry, dude. All right, so yeah, so
And
that's the show.
Stone Cold does the same thing.
I'm cool
Only
to me. Oh, there ain't gonna be no roll tonight. All right, so that's the show. Kyle, what do you got the plug before we get out of here?
I just figured there ain't gonna be no Raw tonight. We're gonna go through the practice test. We're gonna go through a practice test. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, character set comedy Saturday, August 8th, 6 o'clock. 15th, I am at City Winery, 6:30 and 9 o'clock with Mr. Professor Nick Harrison for Poor Decisions, Anime NYC. Oh, if you're gonna go to Eastville, don't go to Eastville. We're not doing that. Where Eastville has, I mean, Brotaku is doing its own thing in Baltimore, and I won't be there. But um, I plugged that a couple weeks ago, so I don't want anyone showing up to Eastville and be like, "Where is it?" Friday, August 21st, Anime NYC, and also August 20th, OS NYC. Brotaku will be there at OS NYC and Anime NYC. We will be having an anime comedy show. So lots going on to end August. So please come hang out.
Yes, please go represent Killer Kyle. Um, as for me, I'm subscribe to the podcast, rate and review us. Interesting couple of months. There's 4 pay-per-views in May of '99, by the way. So we're gonna
My
be
goodness.
including the really sad one. So we've got gonna be in '99 for a while. So it's a good time. You gotta come enjoy it. All right, guys, that's it. Next week we're gonna get uncensored, and we'll see you then.